Hello, YouTube. This is the Galley La Podcast, and today we're going to be reviewing One Piece Manga Chapter 1166 and 1167. Please like and subscribe if you have not. I'm Akainu Fanboy. The other guy's Geboss. Leave your comments below, thoughts on these chapters, and the thoughts on our review. So we are graced with a color spread right here, which there's some Wano content in there, though, which I'm not happy about. We can't get away from it.
Yeah. Well, what can you do? It's better than actual story for it, though.
Yeah, that's true. So getting into the good stuff. So we see the conclusion of Garp, Roger, and Rox D. Zebek. They're all kind of laid out on the ground here. Mm-hmm. And we see the fraud knights show up here as well. And
they're bums.
Yes. Okay. Do you think he's dead for sure? Or what do you think?
Okay, so there is some room for ambiguity in his fate, but I feel that he's probably dead, and if he's somehow still alive in the current way, it's probably under some sort of like zombie mind control thing with Emu. But I feel like Emu wanted the Davy line wiped out, so it would make more sense for him to be taken out completely.
Correct.
So I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too with it. I mean, he would be like a good toy for him, but at the same time, he did a lot of hassle, and he really, he was the only one to get into the throne room. So. Mm-hmm. I think it's kind of one of the threats, and I think he particularly got under Emu's skin too. So it's a threat that he wanted to get rid of.
Yeah. So I don't know why the God's Knights are why Oda chose to have them swoop in like this and take out Rocks, but and why they didn't take out Garp and Roger, unless off screen they fought Scopper and Rayleigh.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Or like they maybe like Scopper and Rayleigh had a good understanding that this island was going down. They needed to get out, and they just took him away, basically.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think it's like believable in terms of character motivation that they're just kind of cowards. They don't have any honor. At the same time, they're just pissed off for what Rox did, and they need to do Emu's orders. So it kind of makes sense in that sense right there.
Mm-hmm. They're bums.
Absolutely. So
their stocks definitely went down.
Right. So the island starts collapsing there, and so they're rescued. They move on right there, and we get. We kind of basically get the aftermath of everybody that escaped here. And there's not really too much to be said to this point, I guess. We see. Oh, yeah. I got that tripped me out. That looked like Momo for a second on the top left, but it's kind of, yeah. So,
same devil fruit.
So, yeah, right. So, we basically see Shanks, and we have that plot line carried up right here, too. It's connected that he's in the treasure chest. So, all that's kind of put together. And so, I think especially in the next chapter, the world building like really takes off. But just even in this chapter, you see a lot of points being connected and everything. And the rest of the world gets the news that Rox is done. Garp's angry about the whole thing, and then Sengoku and Garp have this really interesting exchange.
Before we get into that, I just wanted to say that there was the double page spread with the lightning coming down. And I think Oda I don't know if this is a translation thing or whatever. In the official translation, it says this is a broad account of what happened on God Valley. So I guess that's kind of saying like, okay, you saw like the main points. We didn't get into the nitty gritty, which is kind of acceptable for me. Like it's being, especially since it's not part of Harald's flashback proper, since he wasn't there. This could almost be seen as like just a general overview of the whole incident. So potentially an extended fight with Garp, Roger, and Rox, basically, and then
maybe some conflict between like Scopper and Rayleigh and the rest of the Rocks pirates too.
Yeah, but I think it's
or Bogart.
Yeah, well, people are already ragging on Bogart for not rescuing Garp. But yeah, I do kind of like it better that way, because I know I had some issues with how some of the plotting and plot points were throughout the flashback, but just Oda saying basically like, hey, this is just a broad overview, it kind of alleviates that for me, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And then
but I think it was
was
fine enough. It wasn't bad or anything, but like going back to the Sengoku Rocks thing, basically Morgan's kind of, you know, did some fake news here, and we basically see Sengoku saying that you know, management's behind all this, and Garp's like, this is what I hate about you, you know, you're just like kind of always like a bureaucrat and everything like that. And basically Sengoku's like, well, you know, are you gonna be quitted? And he's like, well, I gotta protect down at the bottom of the cliff, as you call it. So it's kind of funny because he's angry at Sengoku for being kind of like a bureaucrat or a team player, but like Garp's kind of like, well, I gotta be like that too.
Well, no, he's criticizing Sengoku because Sengoku just basically said, like, when I notice the upper management doing something insane, I can just look the other way. I mean, that's not justice.
Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is they're both tolerating the evil and they're still kind of focusing on the good in a way. I guess like trying to be productive with it. So, because he said, I've got plenty to protect down at the bottom of the cliff, as you call it. Yeah. You know, so, because even like one thing I will say, like Sengoku's character, I think really got fleshed out well a lot in Dressrosa with the whole Rocinante thing. You know, like he has a heart, he does care about justice, and he wants, even though like Rocinante had like a checker pass and everything like that too, you know, so he does have like a heart deep down and everything like that. So he isn't like kind of this cold, heartless monster for sure, like a Green Bull type, if you will. So, but they just have their different ways of kind of going about everything. I think like you could say Sengoku has more blood on his hands, you know, and I think he had more faith and belief in the government, because he didn't see what Saturn was or what Emu did at the island like Garp did. And they also didn't see the slaughter too, you know.
Yeah, but he's not looking for any type of reform. He's saying like, oh well, we can't keep track of everyone in the government. There's so many people, and but it's like, you should be looking for the best of the best. You shouldn't be wanting like even people like up at the top, like with the Gorosei or Emu or whoever. You don't want them doing things that are bad or underhanded. Yeah, and it seems like Garp knows that, and he is looking to protect everyone else, but Sengoku's just kind of saying, I can look the other way. They can just do whatever. And he's not protecting them.
Yeah, I would just say, yeah, like I said, I think Sengoku has more faith, but I think to some extent they both have to kind of look the other way. You know, they realize there's like a level of stink, but they think it's like worth it. You know, like the good outweighs the bad kind of thing, and being the Marines, basically. I think Sengoku has more faith and justice in the institution than Garp does, obviously, you know, but Garp clearly does care and love for the Marines, definitely, you know, like Luffy loves and cares about being a pirate. So, but I think it also makes them more interesting characters, you know, because, so for example, like when we see Sengoku's faith get broken was at the end of Marineford, when the government wouldn't allow them to tell about Impel Down escapees and everything like that. So I think they both kind of go through this process of struggling. I mean, they all do. All the Marines do. Kizaru, Aokiji, and I think even Akainu, we're going to see a point of that start at the boil over a bit. Actually, we've already seen that boil over with the government lying to him about Doflamingo resigning from the warlords. You know, that pissed him off big time. You know, so I think we're going to start to see that this element continue to develop as we get more Marines focused on in this story. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So, anything else you want to add on this part?
No, I'm just kind of disappointed in Sengoku's character. But
yeah, this is early Sengoku. I think because like later on, right, there was the whole Rosinante thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but
I think so. Yeah.
Still.
No, for sure. I mean, like, but that's how he got promoted and everything. You know, he's kind of like a government dog, and it took a while for him to get out of that process and everything like that. You know.
Yeah.
I still love Sengoku, but yeah. So when we kind of get the Elbaf, yeah. So we have all the kind of the flashback with rocks and everything like that, which. Like, oh yeah, I forgot about Loki, but do you have really much to say about this section right here, or do you think it's just roughly recap?
So it's interesting that Zebek knew about Joy Boy and he knew about Emu. He did not know about Nika though. About the Warrior of Liberation. So I wonder if Nika is specifically like. I need to reread my thing on Nika's exact like what culture he came from, because did he come from the Giants? I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But yeah, I did think that was kind of a distinction that they knew about. And then just once again talking about the Galley La destroyer giants who can be controlled by the ancient giant blood from Herald. And yeah, I do. I'm just kind of picturing like Loki being like if Luffy was a kid and Shanks died like this, he would probably react the same way.
Sure.
And
yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
But yeah. But speaking of Herald though, we switch over to him.
Actually, and I will say Luffy had a pretty positive upbringing in contrast to Loki.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we get to Herald here, and you know what? I really enjoy Herald as a character, actually. I think he's really unique with what he believes. Like, he's sad and he struggles about, you know, what happened to Rocks and his friend, you know, and then but at the same time, when he was arguing with Rocks, he's like, you know, I still think there's a lot of good that comes from the world government, basically, you know, and the Marines. Well, was he specifying the Marines or the government at that part? I'm trying to think, but
he says I want Elbaf to join the world government. So
yeah, but it's kind of like this thing. He sees obviously the negatives about it too, but he's kind of like with Garp and Sengoku to varying degrees, where he thinks a lot of good would come if the Giants got to join the world. And I think Herald's logic is sound if Emu's not in charge.
Yeah.
Right. Because and there's also this other complex aspect. It's like, well, you know, you stupid Giants, it's like the way our people have behaved is what caused us to be outsiders this whole time. You know, like you keep on harassing these people. So I like that a lot too. You know, it's like you can humanize the Giants while recognizing they still do bad stuff. You know, and I kind of love that balance that Oda does, like kind of with the fishmen. The fishmen have been persecuted, but then you have the dark people like Hody Jones, who are just like evil people.
The best villain.
Yeah. But I don't know, it just makes things more gray, and I like that a lot with Oda. He has a lot of gray characters throughout the show.
Yeah, but I mean, we do see what becomes of Herald, like accepting Imu's offer, even if it means to be a slave, which perked Imu's ears right up. And yeah, it seems like the Giants are important overall to his plans. But
also if they were to the Big Mom too, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, we still need to know exactly why, and I think it has something to do with Galley La. But we'll find out more about that eventually. And
yeah, for sure.
I mean, I think Herald has like just some sort of naivety, like he sees the positives of joining the government outweighing the negatives of being the so-called their slaves, you know. But I mean, again, like you said, if it wasn't Emu in charge, it would probably be for the best.
Yeah, and I think there's kind of a difference too, where Garp specifically didn't want to be an admiral because he didn't want to be a slave to them, but then Harald's like, yeah, let me be a slave to them, you know.
Yeah.
I think there's a difference between being a soldier that's like OP versus like being a leader of a country, putting your people at risk too, you know. So
yeah,
it is interesting. There's definitely a lot of complexities in this, and I do like kind of chewing out the thoughts of it all, but like, yeah, because, you know, they want them to be incorporated into the world and things like that. And yeah, so I'm curious to see, like, Oda's done a great job, I think, with the giants and developing them as a species and stuff. Like, way better than Wano. Like, I care way more about the giants than I do about the people of Wano.
But we had 150 chapters of Wano.
Oda's good when it's concise and to the point.
Yeah. But
so, do you want to... Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, before we move on to the next chapter, we just have, I think, all we needed for the flashback for Garp and Dragon in this, like, couple panels here. Yeah, where Dragon's just in the cell, and he says, I'm quitting the Navy, and Garp says, I know, and then he says, I'm disgusted with you. He says, I know, and then Garp just throws him the key. And he's basically... I've seen people say, like, oh, that means, like, Garp's probably an informant for the revolutionaries. I'm like, no. I think it's mainly just, like, because Dragon saw what happened on the island, and Garp doesn't have an excuse for that.
Yeah.
And I think it shows, like, if Garp didn't need to protect people, he probably would have done the same thing.
Yeah, for sure. I think people just have this really like black and white view when it comes to this. It's like, oh, if any Marine doesn't work for the government, they must be a revolutionary, and that's like not the case. Like, there's a lot of differing beliefs in this world, you know. Like, everybody, when Kuzan quit, they're like, oh, he's joining Dragon, then he joins Blackbeard. You know, like, there's no proof whatsoever that he's a part of the revolutionaries. It's like, not everything. I mean, who would want to be a revolutionary? They're terrible. They suck. They're uninteresting and they're powerless. You know, so it's like, so when you have these, like, you have the Marines that are like the good guys and they want to be sword and everything. Like, they could have joined the revolutionaries, but they chose not to because they have differing beliefs. You know, at the end of the day. So, like, they created a whole organization so they wouldn't have to be a part of that dumpster fire, which is the Revolutionary Army, you know? Like, so...
The better revolutionaries.
Yeah, and, well, I mean, they've gotten more done, you know? And I think, like, it's just interesting. People always have that impulse, like, oh, if you show any type of resistance in the government, you must be a full-on revolutionary believer, and that's not the case. I mean, even the revolutionaries don't want to take out the Marine. You know, so yeah, I think people just don't read the story closely enough in that respect. But yeah, so do you want to start the next chapter?
Yeah, because I'm kind of glad that not that I didn't enjoy the God Valley flashback or whatever, but we're getting back to the main meat of Harald and his flashback.
Yeah, and we have no Wano related cover story for Ida's son, which is good. So we kind of started off here, and I was kind of actually pretty caught off guard when you see all these prisoners and pirates freaking out and talking about just Harald, basically. So it, like, at first, because they're talking about the Florian Triangle, I'm like, okay, are they actually talking about that creature? You know, like,
kind of
that we, you know, right? That we never got to see or know what that thing was at the end of the Thriller Bark arc, but instead we got Harald, and I was like, oh, that caught me off guard. That's cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, honestly, I think that there's more to it because we see in current day that they're still there, but But yeah, it's interesting that, like, if you think about it, like they said, like, not many people knew about giants. So when one just comes out of the fog and one taps your ship, it's pretty scary.
Well, especially they make this note later on in the chapter where they have the 10 new Marine recruits. So, because I was kind of thinking, well, shouldn't they have seen some giant vice admirals at this time? But I guess we're still kind of late enough in the story too, So
yeah, it says 33 years ago, at least the start of this chapter.
Yeah, so the vice admiral giants like haven't been a thing yet. They're just like fresh recruits at this point. So. And again, I love that world building. Like, we're finally getting like the introduction of how these giants came to be. Because I think initially we thought like it was Cypher Pole that got them.
Well,
from the Big Mom flashback.
Yeah. So that was a long time before this.
Mm-hmm. So, but they didn't get the giants through Cypher Pole.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because we all assumed that's how they joined the Navy.
Yeah. We'll have to check back on that to see exactly what's going on. Hopefully it's not like a plot hole, but...
Yeah. That just kind of hit my head there a little bit. So I thought that was kind of fascinating. But yeah, I just going back to our previous conversation, I think it is kind of fascinating. Like, Harald is doing the good in a way. Like, so even though he's like a slave to Emu right now, he hasn't done anything morally objectionable because he seems pretty happy and chipper about everything, so Emu and all of them, they're just having him like take out theoretically bad people, which are pirates.
Yeah.
He hasn't like had to like slay or execute anybody at God's Valley or anything like that. So he's kind of like a warlord at this point,
Yeah, proto warlord.
So yeah, any thoughts on kind of this first section though? You see like the new Rocks pirates kind of come out and growing and everything like that.
Well, yeah, it seems like everyone's like gathering strength for where they eventually end up, and then same thing with Roger and everything. Someone pointed out that Buggy's doing the Nika pose on one of the pages.
Interesting.
But yeah, I'm interested about we kind of get more in this next section, more details about the contracts with the God's Knights and everything. Because we see Harald get I think it's going to be called God's Blade in the official one, because I think that's the rank that Gunko was at God Valley.
Okay, gotcha.
So yeah, that shows the mark there, and that's probably like these contracts. They say that there's 3 levels. The shallow sea is a minor pact, and then deep sea and deep sea are reserved for those who are bound fully to the true God. So probably at any level of them, they can probably be possessed by Emu through the mark. But
so do you think the 13 would include the Gorosei?
Maybe, because then that would be the five Gorosei, and then probably a handful of the God's Knights.
Interesting.
Yeah, we're getting something.
Yeah, and so we get to see another Garlina, like, I don't know, middle age right here and everything. So
he looks like a bum. I hate this design for him.
Yeah.
I don't know. And, I think it's because it's not like fully grown out. He just looks. I don't know. He just looks. I don't like this design for him.
Yeah, and I do like the design of the Temple Knights, Domain of the Gods, and everything. And so you get to see the young Shanks right there, which is kind of cool to see. And
I think that's Shamrock.
Oh wait, you're right.
Yeah, because later on Shanks joins. Spoilers. But
okay, yeah, sorry, yeah. So, yeah, and then we get to go back to Fishman Island right here.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on this general, like, the back and forth right here?
So, I saw a crazy theory about this. So, so there's a thing where they're calling their future daughter, who turns out to be Shirahoshi, Mosa. And Mosa was the one, I think that was the name of the person who was talking to Loki way back in the beginning. Remember? Like his friend who he was communicating with on the transponder snail?
Yeah.
So people have been theorizing that Loki has been talking with Shirahoshi.
That's crazy.
I wouldn't have believed it except for this. Because, again, it shows up out of nowhere. And I was like, I remember them talking about, like, the Mosa thing earlier. But also, Loki and Shirahoshi children would be, like, two hacks. Too powerful.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did think Oda wouldn't have put this there if it wasn't important. But
yeah, no, that's really interesting, and I like like I said, amazing world building. It's pretty top notch.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know how they would have gotten into communication in the first place. That's the only thing.
Yeah, that's true. And then we basically get Saul back, and again we go back to Fishman Island here, and this looks like Mr. Shanks right here.
Oh no, this is Mary Joie. This is a Fishman.
Oh, sorry. The Fishman Island arc.
Fisher Tiger.
Yeah, he's coming out. Yeah. And then it looks like, from what we can tell, it looks like kind of like Shanks right there.
So I have a theory about this.
Go ahead.
Or not theory, just so we see like Fisher Tiger running at. I'm pretty confident that this is Shanks because we see him like clip Shanks, and he's holding like a bandage, and later on we see Shanks's eye bandaged. So I was thinking, I wonder if it was bandaged beforehand, and he tore it off in the fight. And this is like shortly after he got the scars from Blackbeard.
Yes, I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah. Because people were saying like, oh, this is because Oda's been hyping up the person with the eye patch, and people were saying that this was it, and it's not. No, I think it's gonna be a new character. But yeah, it seems like Shanks is responsible for freeing the slaves and assisting Fisher Tiger.
Yeah,
which
seems that way.
Interesting.
He's like the first Fujitora.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, everything connecting so beautifully. Really impressed by the whole thing, but then it kind of gets obviously very ominous when we see Harald. He's back, and what I find interesting with Shanks, he compares him to Shamrock. I find that really interesting because, like, does that really upscale Shamrock a lot, or is it like kind of like an undercutting of Shanks where they don't comprehend how strong he actually is?
No, I probably think that they're around the same power level.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
The Garland was just a bum.
Yeah. I mean, he was fighting against Rox, who was probably the strongest person on the island.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah. So I kind of thought it was interesting to kind of see Shanks speak the way it is too. Speaking like this.
Yeah.
Just kind of snobby, but he is like someone that's very, I'd say, crafty and everything like that, and he knows he has to act like this to accomplish what he needs to accomplish.
Yeah, it's super weird to see him like pull the Celestial Dragon card. I was blessed from birth with Figurlin blood in my veins. I'm like, okay, calm down. But yeah, I'm really curious to see like what he wants to gain from joining them, because I'm wondering if there's a connection with what Roger told him, because like right before Roger disbanded the Roger Pirates and turned himself in, he told Shanks something and Shanks was crying. So I wonder if it was that he was from the Figurlin family. And because there's no way that Shanks is going to be like a bad guy. It's like a triple, like it's like a triple. Yeah.
One thing I was kind of speculating for a while was essentially, I think like when it comes to Shanks, well, a lot of the Yonko, they all kind of tend to be frauds in a certain sense, you know, like they give off one impression, but really they're kind of fakers, you know. Just kind of like with Kaido, you know, he wants his glorious fight, and he won't take his own life, kind of thing, you know. Like with Big Mom, like obviously just kind of like this really deceitful person, and has like a lot of these broken issues, and she comes off as this like really tough person, you know. And then Shanks kind of comes off as like this really pure guy, you know, really good person, you know. And then now there's like a little bit of a smudge on him, because he may have had to have done some bad stuff, but you know, just the idea of him be with his family seems like the antithetical case to who he is as a person, right? And for him to do that, because he's like the ultimate free spirit, right? And now for a time, he had to live like this, you know? Now, does this really answer, or do you think it remains the same that Shamrock was speaking to the Gorosei, or was that actually Shanks?
I mean, it's possible it was still Shanks. I don't know. That's what happens when you have twins like this. It could be either one, but again, we need to know exactly what they were talking about to get the full answer.
Yeah, and we still haven't found that out. And too bad Saturn passed away, and we can't know from him.
Ripping pepperonis. But yeah, I'm interested to see, especially since we know that Shanks has something to do with Harald's death. So it's gonna be interesting, and it kind of since we know more about that, it could make sense that that Harald is able to open the to use that sigil to travel like the other God's Knights. That's probably why. That's a good point. That's probably why it was in the castle. So,
is that how he was able to get the Fishman Island, you think?
I don't know. He might have just been passing through, because we kind of jump around a lot in this. Because the Fishman Island part was 20 years ago, and then the Fisher Tiger thing was 15 years ago. Yeah. But
right. So when we kind of get to the next part, I thought it was really interesting with Harudin's mom, you get Loki, her getting poisoned. I thought this was like a really, really well done scene, actually. Like, because again, it's like a refocus back on Loki, and then it feels so long ago with his whole what was the Astrid, I think, or Estrid? It's like actual one. Yeah. And she came back. I mean, like her story came back to the story, which I didn't think was actually going to happen. I thought she was just like a one and done character. We're going to forget about her, and then she popped back up in the scene. And I love this scene with Loki too. And I think it's pretty terrific.
Yeah, I kind of like how both Loki and Haruden both want her to get better, but Loki's going out like, "Hey, I brought you this animal, so eat up, get better, so you can reopen the bar." And Haruden's out there looking for a doctor and everything. So it shows, especially at the end, like Loki cares just as much for her as a mother.
Yeah, and I like it at all. I guess like again, my two little slight critiques is we kind of get this character model a lot with the protagonists specific to the island they visit, like Odin, right? Or like they're seen as like a bad guy, right? But then they turn out to be a good guy and everything like that. So we kind of get this character mold a lot, which is fine because I think Loki is done in a very good way, you know. But also there is the element, and maybe Oda just drops this, I don't know, but kind of Loki's like a deceiver, and we haven't seen any form of deceit with Loki so far.
Yeah, I mean, he could just be borrowing the name. Maybe not the character traits, but
yeah.
But yeah, we've been waiting for that for a while.
And well, maybe the deceiving aspect is he puts himself off as this kind of angry, you know, spiteful, evil person when he's actually a good person. But
yeah,
I still don't think that's really Loki. That's just someone with like emotional issues and putting up barriers, basically. That's not really like deceiving per se, I guess.
Yeah.
But so anyways, yeah. So, but anyways, I like this a lot. I thought this last scene was just really powerful and impactful. And his mom his actual mom was still kind of rearing her ugly head and hurting it's just kind of fascinating.
Yeah, although these people are just dumb as rocks. Like, that's why I poisoned her. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Nothing bad could possibly come from me telling you this.
Yeah, it's kind of fascinating because, again, like, it could be really easy just to put all the blame on the world government, like we kind of been discussing. World government bad, giants good, but again, there's a lot of bad giants too, and a lot of the giants have inflicted wounds on themselves, which have caused the problems that they still deal with, you know. So I kind of find that theme keeps on reoccurring in this flashback, which I like a lot.
Yeah, because they're trying to keep the line pure and everything. They don't want her marrying. But
yeah, it's like interesting whenever like Oda shows like the species or the races or whatever you want to call it of the celestial dragons, you find a counter example of that in like the fishmen or the giants, basically. You know, so it's not like unique to one people, which I find interesting.
Yeah, everyone has the bad eggs. But so do you think that this is going to prove fatal for Ida? Because we don't see her in the present that we know of.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we need more tragedy in this. We haven't had enough.
Yeah. But it seems to me like we might be getting close to the end of the flashback. I need to take a look and see. I think this flashback's been going on for like most of the year.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But I think overall that Loki, like where this puts Loki and Harald, like with Ida's death, it puts them in interesting positions because I feel like it could move Harald to step away from the government, and that's maybe at the point that they decide to take him out, you know, if he starts to like refuse them or something.
Yeah,
but
and Loki's probably gonna get the blame of killing her too.
Yeah, maybe I could see that.
Yeah,
but besides that, really good couple of chapters here.
For sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. So please like and subscribe, everyone. Leave your comments below, thoughts on this chapter and thoughts on our review. And we'll see you guys soon. Peace.
See ya.